Comic Uno. Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Tomorrow People, Season 1, Episode 6, and this is, I don't remember what the episode's called. I think it's something about mourning. It's in the title. But yeah, let's talk about this episode. So we get to see some characters that usually don't shine in this episode, especially Russell, who I didn't even know his name was Russell. He's the third, I guess, secondary character between John and Kara. So we do get to see his background story in this episode. His father dies, and we learn that his father pushed him to be a pianist, and he didn't want to be pushed, and that pushed him away from his father. But we see that complicated relationship. I don't want to spoil it all, but we see the whole complicated relationship between them throughout this whole episode through flashbacks. And then we have the head Tomorrow person that is working for Jed. I don't remember her name, but her sister pops up and starting to get powers. And she wants to, bring the sister in, get her powers taken away. But Steven's like, no, don't do that, because you can see when their powers are taken away, they're two-dimensional. They're just there. They're not actually living. So the sister's like, yeah, you're right. Bring her to the Tomorrow People and bring her out of here. And she protects her sister, and she ends up dying from Jedemiah's group, or Jedekiah's group. So she dies for her sister, and now the sister's part of the Tomorrow People, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of her, because she was introduced in this episode. And also the girl who got shot last week, who also reminds me a lot of Felicity, she's back and she's healthy. So I like there's a lot of secondary Tomorrow People getting stories now. And some sparks flying between Kara and Steven, which is very interesting in my opinion, because you know that John and Kara has been having a little bit of a strained relationship ever since we found out John could kill people and didn't tell Kara. And we've always seen, I saw a friendship more with Kara and Steven, but I liked that relationship. Kara and Steven, I really liked in this episode. Maybe because I care about Kara and Steven more than John. Like, I like John, but not that much. But Kara and Steven are two characters I really care about in this show, or at least right now. It's just the beginning, but I think Kara's episode 3 with Kara's story really brought me to like that character, and Steven, of course, since episode 1, I've really enjoyed his character, and I really liked their chemistry. I really enjoyed it. I hope that Kara's not going to lie to John and say, oh yeah, I'm with you. I really hope that they end up having a relationship, and she just says, you know what, I really have feelings for Steven, I don't think this is going to work out. I really hope she's straightforward about that, or else that could get a little annoying with love triangles, and CW loves doing that. I hope they kind of approach that correctly, because, love triangles, they could get very annoying and very complicated, so I hope they avoid that and really work that relationship smart as the upcoming episodes go on. But again, really enjoyed this episode more than, I think, in order, I would say episode 3 is my favorite. I would say this episode and episode 1. This episode has to be my second favorite episode so far, because it developed so many characters in such a short amount of time. Like Russell's character, who I didn't know his name until this episode, and I really care for his character just because of this background that you really connected to. And I love that that's what the show really does, is like, here's the character, but let's go back and find out exactly what this makes this character tick. And even characters that, like the person who works for Jed and the sister, like characters that could have been painted in the background, they really gave a spotlight here, and adding more Tomorrow People and making those background characters have personality, even though one of them is exactly like Felicity and Arrow. At least we're getting some personality with not just the main core group, but these other background characters, which I really enjoyed here. One thing I didn't love in this episode really was a missing piece, which is Astrid. I feel like she's a character that has a pretty interesting story with Steven, and they just keep skipping her story. I think she's going to be in the next episode, but she just found out that Steven was a Tomorrow person. You would think that would continue a little bit in this episode. That was the cliffhanger. So I'm kind of upset what they've been doing with her character, that they keep skipping that story, and I'm really interested to see that human connection with the Tomorrow People connection. And that's what Steven is, the bridge of the humans and the Tomorrow People. One last thing I wanted to say was this Morgan character who seems like to have a relationship with Jed, who's also a Tomorrow person, who can't use her powers. Very interested to see where her story goes. I really enjoyed that one. I really hope she's connected to somehow into Steven's life and we're like, oh, that girl that likes Jed and has a relationship with him. So really hope that we get to see her connected in some way, because we just saw a glimpse of her, and I just remembered her name. I'm like, oh, did we like find her out, found a story out about her previously, but I don't think we did. So hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about her, which I think we will. I think they're just really just planting the seed in this episode for future story for her, which I think is interesting. Why have somebody not take away her powers just because you like her? And really how close is that relationship? I'm really interested to see that, because Jed is a very interesting character. Really enjoyed this episode. Definitely more than last week. I liked last week's episode, but there was a lot of slow parts here. There was no slow parts. I cared about Russell totally and his story. And there's just a lot of interesting story being planted here. Really enjoying the Tomorrow people. I won't say I'm excited every week for a new episode, but there's definitely some interesting story being planted here to make it, this is how you plant seeds and have a story arc. Yes, sometimes it feels like a, superhero, Tomorrow person of the week, but they integrate story arcs and have a lot of layers to the show. So that's kind of how you do a new show, comparing that to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. But yeah, I've really been enjoying it. So really enjoyed this episode. If you like seeing secondary characters shine, I think you'll really enjoy this episode. And of course, we'll have our main character shine in this episode also. But tell me in the comments below what you thought about the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. And guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rand Situations. And don't forget to like my Facebook page. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.